many people will not get the lyrics, but at the same time, that's another interesting challenge, like to try uh, uh, to express my emotions just by the sound of my voice. And I think that music is kind of an international, universal language. So I think it's kind of interesting.
Chiara, thank you so much for your time today. I know that it's been a busy few weeks or few months or maybe just a few years. Let's just leave it at that. And that is not
Right.
going to change anytime soon. Um, your album came out 2 weeks ago. Usually I talk to people before an album release, but this was only possible after. Um, how are you? But also, if I would have spoken to you 2 weeks before the album release, would I get a very different Chiara in front of me? Was that a crazy emotional roller coaster? Can you relax a little bit more now?
Well, you probably, first off, hello. I'm very happy to be here talking to you tonight. You probably would have spoken to an excited Chiara, but still, I am still excited, but just in a different way. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of course, we recorded the album 2 years ago,
Oh yeah.
so we were so looking forward to releasing it, and we just couldn't wait. Um, and now we're very happy about the feedback we're getting on the album.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
still excited, just in a different way.
For sure. Is it, I mean, obviously, yeah, as you say, these songs weren't written yesterday. They have been around for a while. You've recorded these a while ago, but then finally this album is here. Is it still too close, or at this point, can you take a step back and look back a little bit? Like, because when an album comes out, like you get flooded with all these messages and comments and reactions and all the kind of good stuff, and that can be overwhelming. But now we've had 2 weeks of that. Is it? Can you like look back and go like, okay, I like this, or is it still too crazy and everything is in the middle of this tornado and it's impossible?
Well, it's actually we're all probably too emotionally attached to the song, and it's very hard.
Right.
It's very hard to tell. And then, of course, we're all perfectionists in the band. I am a perfectionist, so there's always something that I'm like, okay, I could have done that better, and that I'm pretty sure that will never change, and that will never stop.
Right.
But yeah, but so far I'm very happy about how the album turned out, and yeah.
I'll be brutally honest with you. This album was my real introduction to the band. And this is not the first album, this is the fourth album. You've been very productive in the last, what, 6, 7 years that this band exists
Oh
with.
yes.
Um, yeah, we're already 2025.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been 6 years since we released our first album. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
time flies when you're
it's
having fun.
going fast, and you've released a lot of singles and a lot of albums in that time, much more than bands these days do in such a short amount of time. Um, Nevertheless, for me, this was the first time really discovering the band, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the case for many people out there. There's a lot more happening. You've been also very visible with other tours and projects, and we'll get to that in just a second. You're gonna be finally touring as well, so there's just a whole lot more happening. Do you also experience that way? Do you have a feeling that more people are paying attention now?
Oh well, yes. Uh, I think we've always had a fan base, and there are people that are following us since day one, and and yeah, and we're very grateful to those people. But we can really say that it looks like our music is reaching
Hmm.
to more people now, and we're very happy about it. We're getting, as I said, we're getting a very positive feedback on the album, and yeah. Let's hope it keeps on growing.
Yeah. Now, one of those projects, and before we dive deep into the album and everything that you're doing, that we obviously, have seen you with is Avantasia, where you join a crazy group of people, including my friend Adrian from Seven Spires, who is phenomenal as well.
Oh yeah.
Um, those tours and projects are great. They are also machines, and Avantasia is not going to wait for Moonlight Haze's schedule. Uh, is that that is a sacrifice that you make? Being part of such big productions and tours. Um, how has that been for you to balance something like that with also trying to, make sure that your own band gets the right attention, finally get to go on tour? That must be a difficult balance at times.
Uh, yes, it is. It is. It's all a matter of balance, indeed. But I wouldn't define singing with Avantasia a sacrifice. I actually really enjoy it. I
I've
love
spoken to
being.
Toby before. I know how hard he can be.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it has its challenges, like being
Yeah,
on
yeah.
tour, playing such long shows. It's of course quite
Little
challenging
sleep
at
and long
times.
tour.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I'm very happy and I feel very lucky to be surrounded by such great musicians with such a great experience.
Yeah,
And yeah, of course, I have to balance two different situations, but I think it's all a matter of like planning. We all try to plan in advance, and I think it works fine. So. Uh, yeah, I don't think the two schedules would interfere too much. Of course, there would be there might be overlapping shows in the future,
right.
but I'm pretty sure we will manage.
Yeah. Now being surrounded by such a group of not only insanely talented people, but also a lot of experience there, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Since you joined that group, has there been like a specific or a few specific lessons that you've taken that you've adopted based on what you've seen around you?
Yeah, for sure. I was very, very happy and very inspired by the fact that people that have been doing this job for so many years still put that much passion uh, in music.
Hmm.
That's really something like they've been doing this for so long and they're still really into it. And I'm very happy to see that. And yeah, it's a great inspiration for me.
Yeah. And there's a wealth of different influences and styles that you have in that, and we see that also reflected in your new album. That it is it fair that a rule in your band is that we can't sound the same on two songs? Because it's a very people are gonna obviously label you as symphonic metal, boom. But that would be a little too easy to do because there's a lot of different things happening on this album. You also explore a lot of different vocal styles. In some songs, we get some rock grittiness, and others you get more the traditional symphonic metal that we might expect. Um, that feels like a very conscious choice that the band is like, hey, we need to explore a lot of different things. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, it is both a conscious choice and a stream of consciousness at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like we do not like to plan much in advance. We're not like, okay, today we're gonna write a song that is symphonic with like rockish influences. No, it's just like we sit down, we just write or sing
Hmm.
whatever comes to our mind, and yeah, and we like to experiment a lot. Also, I like to experiment with different vocals, different vocal styles, and I try to when I think about my voice, I think about it as an instrument, just one of the other
Right.
instruments in the band. So if the song needs harsh vocals, I would, I would add them. If it needs operatic, I would just go for them. Um, it's not just like showcasing different styles. It's more like, okay, I really think that this pre-chorus needs operatic. Now I'm thinking about Tame the Storm, and
Right.
and and also different vocal styles allow me to play different characters or different emotions. So that's why we we experiment that much, and I personally like to use different vocal styles.
Time to tame the storm, so here it stands.
You make it sound very, very easy. But especially as you're gonna go on tour, and this makes me think of conversation I've had with Adrian, who can come home from a crazy tour of Avantasia, have slept maybe 1 hour in the last week, has to go on tour of Seven Spires, a band where she will also explore these different ranges a lot more than in Avantasia. But it's already hard being a singer on tour, to make sure that your voice doesn't, suffer too much when you're crisscrossing all these different climates and temperatures and altitudes. But on top of that, you push your vocals to some extremes. Like, how is that for you? Are there certain precautions you have to take to make sure that this doesn't impact your voice as much as it would the guitar playing of a guitarist?
Well, first off, it is very hard to be a singer, a singer in the first place, not just a
Right.
singer on tour. Oh, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there are some things that I've learned through experience and through trial and error
Yeah, yeah,
since
yeah.
the years. So, like, one of the things that affects the voice, my voice, the most is like lack of sleep. So I try to get as much rest as I can, and that is not always possible. But of course, with time and experience, you learn how
Hmm.
to manage. Like if you're not feeling 100%, still somehow um, deliver. Yeah, but there are things, just little things that are part of my daily routine that I try to control as much as I can. Like as as I said, trying to sleep as much as I can, drink much water, and then I'm addicted to tea and to like chamomile tea. So I try to stay hydrated, light meals before a show. Now I don't want to get like too much into details. That would be very boring. But yeah, of course, it's once again it's a matter of like finding the right balance, um, and also be ready to change your schedule when needed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, now all your fans know that whenever they come to a show, they have to give you specialty teas as gifts, N not
They're
not
already
not
doing
local
that.
beers or treats, just beautiful teas, beautiful teas.
That's true.
Awesome.
That's true. They already bring me tea sometimes. I'm very
Awesome.
happy. I have a very big collection.
Great, great, great. Now you say like my voice is an instrument. Now, obviously your voice also like all all music evokes emotion and can tell story, but obviously a voice speaking a language tells very directly a story. And I want to ask you, I use this as a complicated segue to a specific song, L'Eco del Silencia, on the album. I
Yes,
appreciate you
yeah,
not laughing too. Um, I always find it super interesting when, I mean, English is the international language of rock music. There's no doubt about that. And it's always exciting and interesting to see a band do certain songs in a different language, whether it's their native tongue or not. Here in North America, I find that people generally like those songs even the most because they're a little bit more exotic or what have you. But it's been interesting to see recently that a lot of people in North America really like songs, rock songs, metal songs that are not purely in English. My question to you is, um, there must have been a specific reason that you decided that the text for that song had to be in Italian, not in English. And at the same time, so I'd love to learn why that is, why you felt that, from whatever reason, that it would be better in Italian. But then also that tells me that that is extra special, that text, but many of your fans won't understand what you're saying. And so is that somehow a little bittersweet that clearly this important text that most people won't even know what you're saying What's that like for you as a creator?
That's a very interesting question. L'Eco del Silenzio is a song that I that is like has some English lyrics and some Italian lyrics.
Yeah.
And once again, that I didn't plan that in advance. So I just started writing the lyrics in English, and I took inspiration from a from a picture that I took a few years back, and I started writing the lyrics in English. And then while I was writing them, I realized that the subject of the song itself was that um, you don't necessarily have um, to tell to explain emotions. And so and then some Italian lines came to my mind, and then I was like, "Ah, why in Italian now? I cannot just write a song half in English and half in Italian." And then I was like, wait, I actually can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was in the studio with Sascha because I wrote most of the lyrics uh, while on tour with Avantasia in Latin America back in 2023. And then I had to write some lyrics, to finish up some lyrics, or to write some lyrics from scratch actually, right before recording the songs. But that's another story. And then I was like, yeah, I can actually write the lyrics in Italian, because that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
It doesn't Emotions do not need to be like I don't need to explain directly, or and then yeah, it is sometimes I think about that, like many people will not get the lyrics, but at the same time that's another interesting challenge, like to try um, uh, to express my emotions just by the sound of my voice. And I think that music is kind of an international, universal language. So I think it's kind of interesting.
Now you mentioned Sasha. Your fans obviously know who you're talking about. You're talking about Sascha Paeth, who, I mean, had some musical success with his Heaven's Gate band in the late 80s, early 90s, but without him, maybe we wouldn't have this, glorious time for symphonic and operatic metal today. Like, obviously he's been working with Toby on Avantasia for the longest time. He's also on stage with Avantasia. He was there for Epica in the early days as well. A bunch of bands. Like he's been so important behind the scenes. One of those people that not a lot of people know his name maybe, but
You
his
know the music.
exactly, exactly. Like every metal had has a few albums at least where that he was behind, the scenes. What has his, given how close he's been with yourself as well, um, what has his impact really been on this band?
Um, I think that Sasha did a great job uh, highlighting some of our trademark features, and also encouraging us to explore new territories. I
Hmm.
think that it was, I mean, is obviously a great producer, is
Right.
basically a genius. Like he came to Italy for a week to work on the songs with us back into 2023. Right, that was right before I joined Avantasia on tour for the
Right.
first time. That's why then I had to write the lyrics like on tour and right before recording, because that tour wasn't planned. And so it was like, okay, I will fly to Germany right after you're back from the Avantasia tour, and then it became okay. We will just fly to Germany right after we're both on tour.
Right, right, right.
It was very exciting, actually. Um, yeah, and yeah, and of course, as I was saying, is a great producer, but he's also a fantastic human being.
Right.
Uh, and we try in the band, we try to everything that we do, we want to have a meaning. We didn't just want to like put a name and show off. we don't care about that. We've never done that, and we don't really care about that. We really wanted the his role to have a meaning, to add something to the sound of the band. And we all agree that it is such a great job, because it feels like this is a Moonlight Haze album, but it's like even more Moonlight Haze than before.
Right. Okay, so when you say that, and I'm gonna bring that back to when we started this conversation about there's also more people paying attention now. Um, you yourself have become much more prominent in our scene thanks to the work that you've done with Tobias and Sascha. So all these things in mind, you're now also going on your first tour with Glory Hammer, which is really cool. You'll be gone in just a few days from now. Um, what can we expect from that? Like, because when you just say like, oh, this is more Moonlight Haze than we've ever been, is this album then some sort of a maybe not a reset moment, but the clear start of a new era? Like, are we going to get, for example, almost only new songs on this tour?
Um, well, it felt like some kind of reset in some way.
Hmm.
And like I was very happy that many fans noticed that this is the first album that has a title in English and not in Latin as before. Because we really felt like we wanted to change some things. And once again, it wasn't just to we didn't plan much in advance. We just felt it was time to change some things
Hmm.
in the band. But of course, we're very attached to our old songs. There are some. I think that by now there are songs that we cannot just skip in
Right.
our set list. But of course, we're very, very looking forward to playing the new songs. As I said, we've been working on the album for almost 3 years. We recorded it 2 years ago, so we were like, we were thinking, we were very curious to hear how they will sound in a live show. We're
Right.
very looking forward to hearing the feedback from the audience. Yeah, so it's different. It's some kind of reset, but not like burning bridges or stuff
Right.
like
Right.
that.
Right. Right. Right.
Just an
Awesome. Oh,
evolution. We love evolution. We love to evolve, and also with our albums, it always felt like we were on a journey. If I think about my band, and if we all think about ourselves as a band, we see ourselves as astronauts, like on a journey through time and space. So we started on Earth with the Rerum Natura, the first album. Then we landed on the moon with Lunaris. Then we were somewhere on another planet with Animus, and now we're beyond with this album. So yeah, it's a journey.
there you go. It's a journey, and it's exciting to see where this journey is going to continue. It's uh, congratulations on this album and seeing the momentum and getting this tour. That's a lot of fun. And so I'll keep my fingers crossed that at some point we can see, forget about the moon, forget about another planet. We just need you to come to North America,
Hopefully,
and
hopefully so.
see you here. I'll keep my fingers crossed that I see you on a stage, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in North America, sooner rather than later. And Chiara, thank you so much for your time today. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And I hope you have the most wonderful start of your tour.
Thank you so much.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.